Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're at. Thank you for joining. Welcome to Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I'm your host, Godless Reggie. And as always, I have my beautiful co host with me, the Afro Atheist. How are you today?
I'm good. I mean, you called me beautiful, so yes, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Um, we're here again with the finale of the history of the Mormon Church, the LDS Church. We could probably make about maybe five more episodes of it, but I think today we should do the finale of it. Hopefully, my other co-host, the vessel of dishonor, stops by, as well as NJ. Thank you for stopping by, Ouija. Let's get right
Which
into it.
is here.
Yep, Ouija's here as always.
Hey.
Today, I'm change it up a little bit, right? Because I am a black person, so um, I want to see the ways that the Mormon Church has affected us, and I want to talk about people that are from our community that are involved with the Mormon Church because they're so racist. It's so crazy that any person would literally go along with this. But the more I dig and into it, I found out that there are black people that are in the church. So this should be interesting. I'm gonna play a
And
video.
and how are you doing, Reggie?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Just getting ready for work tomorrow. Um, Same old shit. I'll probably do an interview a little bit later about my life. If any,
Ooh,
it's gonna be interesting. So anybody watching this, please subscribe. Please follow me. It's gonna be interesting. Get your popcorn ready, cause
today?
mhm.
Okay. Is it set up or?
I ain't set it up yet. I haven't even really talked to her yet today. So it's gonna be on my platform and sometime guest that we have on here. She's frequent. She usually comes in the comments. I do streams with her. I'm trying to get her to come back on here, right? So her name is Tia. She goes by Tia Don J. So please follow me and follow her. Today we're gonna definitely do a podcast about my life. It's gonna be interesting. What you got planned for today, if anything?
Um, not not a lot. I mean, I've got things to do on the computer. I've got some applications to make and a couple of videos to edit. So yeah.
Okay, I need to learn how
Hey,
to edit as
Veiled
well.
Rose. Good to see you, Veiled Rose. I haven't seen you in a little while.
So today I'm gonna show more videos than what I normally do. I may touch on Brigham Young's racist ass again, but let's just get people's firsthand experience and what they're talking about. Let's see.
Bring them young.
Right. That's what his name should have been. Bring them young.
Ooh, that's what it sounds like. Bring them young. Oh, dark moments.
So last week we had posted a video, of a white lady that was discussing the Mormon church and how it's rooted in racism, white supremacy. And she was kind of breaking it down. If you have not seen the video, make sure to go in our archives and you can check out that particular video. Well, we have one sister that's going to back up everything that, the lady has said last week. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I was raised by Mormons in Salt Lake City, and they would tell me that my skin color came from sin, and I would never see the paradise of the celestial kingdom, white and delightsome, because I am a Canaanite and fought with Satan against God in the pre-existence.
So as you heard, the sister said that she was raised by Mormons and were told that her skin color was caused by sin. And unless she becomes white, that's the only way she can get into the celestial kingdom. Pure racism, white supremacy. Let me tell you something. Everything that the white supremacists have touched is always going to be something that's rooted in racism, including religion. And this is why you have a lot of black people who have wised up and have rejected anything that they have taught as a religion because we know the origin. If you look at the so-called Christian church, they immediately give you an idol. Now, Christ isn't an idol, but the image that they have presented to you to make you think that Jesus was white. He was not white. There's been even scholars in their own community have admitted, no, he was not a white person. But yet this is the image that they push because white Jesus is their God. That's the God of white supremacy, not the God of heaven and earth. No, the God of white supremacy.
So, as you can hear him explaining it and what she said, that pretty much she was raised to believe that, and well, she didn't say it exactly in details, but she was raised to believe that in the next life, when she unalives, before she goes to heaven, that she must turn into a white person. Strange.
Very similar to Islam, that idea. In Islam, you would have to be changed to, we would all have to be white to be in the Islamic hell. In fact, there's a hadith that's where the Prophet said he had a vision or a dream or something like that, and
Hmm.
on his shoulder, where veiled Rose would know about this, um, on his left shoulder were black ants, and to hell you go, and I don't care. And on the right were the white ants, and to paradise you go. Uh, yeah. So black and white, it is that divide. It's clear cut, white or black. Black go to hell. White go to heaven.
Well, regardless of racism, which is the elephant in the room on this one, why would any logical person, regardless of your race, believe that when we know that the first people on earth had to have been black? I just don't understand what is wrong with your black ass to believe that you're going to turn white. How? If anything, they would be turning back to us. The shit doesn't, it just doesn't make any sense. And to me, once you know the real origins of Christianity, you know everything about it, if you willfully become a Christian and you are a black person, you cannot convince me that you're not a fucking coon. You have to be. Even Islam, just like what you just told me. Just like what you just told me. I
Yes,
did not.
yes.
I was 100% completely unaware of that. And the
Oh
same
yes.
goes. The same goes for them. If you aspire to turn white in any way, your ass is a coon. Period. You don't want to be what you are. There's no way of cutting it. Besides that, crazy.
That is an idol. I said before, I would never go to somebody's church and sit there with that idol in there. I won't do it. I'll walk right out.
Mm-hmm.
The scriptures teach not to have any graven images anyway. But they're sitting up here telling a black young girl at the time that her skin color is because of sin. Well, why did you adopt her then? Why did you adopt a sinful person? Why? I mean, you couldn't go adopt the pure lily white people that you want to adopt. Well, why you couldn't go do that? Leave the sinful people alone, right? They got some nerve. We are the original people of the planet Earth. We are. We are millions upon millions of years old. They are the new people on the planet, not us. Science proves that. That's why I always tell any of you, black people in the community, you have to be silly to be sitting up here following something like that or being part of their religious.
Exactly. He. It's like he stole from my book. I say that all the time. Like, what is wrong with you? If okay, so let's say the creation story. Let's just take that part, right? There's no way that story can be true. How can a person that is not black tell you about the creation of fucking people or not African? You know that they weren't there. There wasn't nobody named no fucking Adam there. It just does not make it.
Makes
It just does not make any fucking sense on any
sense.
level.
Reggie, Reggie, this is the question that I now have is if that's the case, if they think themselves better than us, right? If they
Mhm.
think that, you know, we were cursed, right? Why then bring that religion to cursed people? Why bring it to Africa? Why? They should have kept it with themselves. They should have just, just be let it be with them. So that way we would never have been introduced to this belief system. Right? Keep it with yourself. It just doesn't make sense. How can you recruit us into the religion, then demonize us? Hello, it's like we can't win. Either way, we cannot win. We didn't ask for this religion. And now that you've brought us in, now you say that we are cursed.
I
Just
mean,
left us alone.
what more can they do to you? I mean, they didn't enslaved you, colonized you, told you who God was, then told you that God don't even fucking like you, and you fucking
Exactly.
believe it. What is wrong with your brain? I just cannot be. What's the song by I just was singing it. It's a reggae
But
song.
so,
No second class. There's no fucking way I'm gonna be second class on this earth. There's
no
no way
way.
I'm gonna be willfully second class. I'm never gonna look up to a person. Oh, I aspire to be just like them. I want to turn white. I want to be his brother. No, no, no. You
This
you
is
have to
just
have
like
some kind of self worth and self pride about yourself. And if you believe any of this shit that they're saying, you have none. Period.
this is just like one time when I was hosting a live on TikTok, and I was telling this gentleman that he has no chance of going to heaven, no chance, because he's not a virgin, and God only wants, these virgin boys, right? So he said to me, "Oh, no, no, no. Okay, yes, he's not a virgin. Okay, yes, he agrees. But he said, go further down the text. Go further down. It says that uh and I saw in the heavens a great multitude, old, young, all these many different people, the great multitude, right? So which means that after God has got with him the 144,000, then they will bring the others. Now, the difference here is that the 144,000, they are going to be redeemed from the earth. So they're going to be picked from here over there. The others will not be redeemed from the earth. So maybe they would have a place here on earth, this other multitude. Because I said to him, it doesn't say anywhere that they're going to be taken to heaven, does it? He said, no, right? But it says that they are going to be with God. I said, so are you saying that you are okay to be second second class? They didn't even think of you. So you are admitting to me that you're not going to be first place. You know that already. You are not going to be first place because okay, you're not a virgin, right? And so you're not and you're happy to be just among the rest. It's just crazy, right? This idea, Reggie, when I was a Christian, let me tell you, I used to say, God, please, God, please, whatever it would take for me to get to heaven, even if I enter just by the narrowest margin, right? Even if I don't get a mansion, even if listen, make me a cleaner, make me a sweeper, make me just let me get in there somehow. Can you imagine that this was an active prayer? Because I was like, whatever it would cost, just let me get in there.
Oh man, this is funny.
Hey, my so-called life. Hey, Richard.
What's up, Spider? What's up,
Spider
Manifest?
Diasio, hello.
What's up, Richard? What's up, my so-called life? Man, that's funny.
And manifested 888.
But to me, that's no different than people, worshiping. And I have no problem with these people. I don't see how people could sit there and worship Jewish or just call people Israelis the chosen people. So you really
Mm,
fucking better than you. What is wrong with you? If you and I'm not saying all Jewish people are the same. There's different kinds of Jewish people. Some people
yes.
they're great people. You know, you have some people that are not like that. You have some Zionists and you have Israelis. They're all different. But what they teach them in Israel, I've seen on video, is that everyone but them are their slaves, right? And so
Mm.
if you think that they are God's chosen people and they think that you're their slave, then hey, y'all got something in common. You want to be like that. Like you want to be second class. You want to be a fucking slave. I just don't understand it. But at the same time, these are the same people. They're like, oh, I'm a servant of God. My question to you is, as if you're a Black American, aren't you tired of serving? We got 400 years of slavery here. You ain't tired of it yet?
And I agree with Manifest is 888. It's dangerous what they did to us. And this is why they had to bring that religion. They had to bring the ideology that tells you to love your enemies. That tells you when you love your enemies, it's like heaping coal, hot coal on the head of your enemies. But just love your enemies, right? And you know the idea that God God will repay every evil that's been done to you. You don't do anything. You don't do anything. Let God be the he's the one that will fight your battles for you. It keeps you docile. It keeps
Mhm.
you not wanting to figure out what exactly happened to us. Who was the perpetrator, right? And you know, addressing it. So this religion tells you, no, just be docile, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. No.
I don't want my payback in heaven. I need my shit now. I don't want no gold in heaven. I don't need none of that shit up there when I'm gone. And that's part of the docile and that's part of the trickery because
Mm,
you can't prove or disprove none of that. So the preachers and shit, they got the best job ever. All they got to do is just tell you, "Oh, you're gonna get yours in heaven." You ain't getting shit.
mm,
You ain't getting shit. 90% of people I know that go to church, if you just ask them two or three slightly personal questions, they don't even fucking qualify. I hate to take this out on ladies. Love you to death. I was raised in a house with all women, but pretty much you're not getting there. You're not getting there. Like when I see all the women at church, I'd be like, oh, okay, you know, you got kids, you married, you and your kid ain't going. So I just don't understand why people are just so addicted to this shit. Because if you really use the text, it tells you that you don't qualify. And then they run to the John 3:16. Okay, well, if that shit is true, it's contradicting, right? Let me play the rest of this.
Reggie, look at the comment by Kevin. It's just so just so people have to be ridiculous.
The secular one. Okay, Kevin. Name one, well, you're just saying by your own atheistic standards, the LDS lifestyle is more stable than a secular one. Okay, compare that. Compare your LDS lifestyle to a secular one.
I mean, wait, hold on. Can you see
Sorry,
me or
I accidentally kicked off the court. You want to use the UK, you want to use Sweden, you want to use any secular community up against the LDS because you're gonna lose. So atheism
talking
has a
about
birth rate of 1. You act like
what's
we're
the
a
birth
country.
rate of 3?
Active LDS have of course they should have more to that. The motherfuckers believe in polygamy. Don't even make sense. You're cherry picking. Let me push play.
You know, communities. I also think it's interesting if a black person go to an evangelical Christian church. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting too, because you know how they get down. They sit up
Mm-hmm.
here, support all the right wing crap. They sit up here and you know how they think.
Yeah.
A lot of racism going on in their places, and some black folks still go sit in there. And the black church is no better because the black church is playing a game too. It's not, of course, the black church is built on racism, white supremacy. No, it's not. But the black church is built on entertainment, finessing. We're talking about finessing with tithes and offerings, not doing what you're supposed to do. Now, we're not talking about the few people who do right. We're talking about the collective. And while a lot of people say, I'm good, I'm not going to nobody's church because they fake. They're not doing it. They're not following the Bible. When you got people like Raphael Warnock, they're supposed to be reverend in the black church, but talking about the leading of children should be a choice. Coming from a reverend, when the Ten Commandments say, thou shalt not kill, but a reverend saying that? What are we talking about? Fake. Fake upon fake upon fake. We don't have to do with that. That's why I'm not going to nobody's church. I pray to God all the time. I do. And I don't need no church to pray directly to God. And you don't either. You want to read the Bible, you can do it on your own. If you want to study the Bible, you can do it on your own. You don't need no reverend anything.
Ready?
Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, what God do you pray to? How about let's talk about that? What God are you praying to? I mean, it's one thing to, sit there. He had good ideas. I've been here, like, yes, let's do this.
You talk about the guy on the screen?
He prays to God. What God do you
Well,
pray to? Never mind.
well, my thing with him is like I don't agree with 100% of nothing that anybody says, right? I don't care who you is, because I have my
Why have
own
you gone
mind, my
very
own opinion.
quiet? You've gone very quiet.
Who?
You, I don't know if it's me or not hearing you.
I don't know. Let's see. Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm better now.
So I don't agree 100% with nothing that anybody says, right? So I'm gonna give him that. I agree with some of the shit he's saying. Where I do agree with him is you don't need a person to read the Bible to you. You can read it yourself. There's no reason to go to no church. Church is not biblical. So I'm feeling him 110% on that. If you believe, if and all that, and that's what you want to do, that's on you, right? If you want to keep it at home and whatever, and teach that to your family, I guess that's okay too. Even though you're technically indoctrinating them, the book says itself that he doesn't dwell in the house that man built. He dwells in the house that he built. So I feel him on that. Now, where I disagree with him at is because, in a way, whether if he knows it or not, if you praying to this same God, you're kind of, just as guilty as them. The only difference is you just ain't capitalizing on it or getting no money from it. So, I mean, I agree with him about 75%.
Relationship with God supposed to be individual anyway. You'll need somebody to be jackleg preaching to you. You like that sort of entertainment, that's on you. If you like that sort of entertainment, do you. But what I'm saying, I can't rock with it. Because whether it's the racism going on with their religions or the black church doing what they're doing, nah, I'm good. But let me know what y'all think about, what our sister went through. I hope she got some therapy. I really do, because things like that can really affect you.
It's just sad that the girl that went through that. I really don't understand, like you said, why they decided to adopt a black child if that's what they really thought. But maybe they looked at her as a pet. I don't know. I can't hear you, Esther. I mean, Afro, you're muted.
Sorry. So, we just 666. Is he pregnant like Mary? How was he? What made you ask that question? I mean, some other people in the comments are busy going on about things that aren't even being talked about, and sometimes I wonder. This is what I sometimes wonder is, why are you so pressed? Why are you so bothered? It's atheists doing what atheists do, and you have to, out of the hours of your day, come and insert yourself. It just makes no sense to me.
So, Kevin, European secular countries' birth rate is around one as well. That's why they are opening their borders to immigrants, which most of those immigrants are Muslim, which will take over Europe. I don't give a fuck. This country here, United States is relatively empty. Look at the size of our country in comparison to Nigeria.
Hmm.
All the states out west are empty as fuck. I say that all the time. Without without immigration to this country, legally and illegally, our birth rate wouldn't be high as well either. But my question to you is, why do you think that it's so important for a high birth rate? I think the reason why is so you can keep trying to spread your message, which nobody gives a fuck about your racist ass religion or your racist ass Kevin Nelson. So you're not making no point with us. That's no reason to believe in your shit just because these people who have 5 and 6 wives, you can say that polygamy ended over 100 years ago. The legality of it may be ended over 100 years ago, but let's not be naive and act like it does not exist, especially in that community. It runs fucking rampant. They have shows on television and everything about it. The way that they hide the shit is that they just stay to themselves, no different than the Amish people. That's number one. And number two, sometimes they'll just marry one in a court of law and have 4 or 5 of them there and have 30 fucking children and shit. So let's not act like that this is not real, Kevin. You're an apologist and you're telling some people that a religion that tells us that we are fucking cursed because of our skin, and you're trying to make it make sense to us. Kevin, no, stop it. So I'm gonna play another few more videos. She's talking about that guy dancing. Yeah. They adopt black children to feed their savior mentality. Exactly. It's to make them believe shit like that. To make them think that we're second class, and we're not. We were the first people on Earth, so how are we second class? That will make sense. But I'm gonna play this other video for y'all. This is a different perspective.
Welcome our guest for the program today. We have the Sisters in Zion by name, Zandra Vrains and Tamu Smith. But on their website, they're known as Sister Beehive and Sister Laurel, but I never
We have aliases on our blog. They told us to start calling it pseudonyms, I think, because they want us to sound more sophisticated. But you know, where we come from,
It's
it's
aliases.
alias. Yes.
What are you going out to? We wrote a book and they wouldn't let us go by aliases. And so our book is called Diary of Two Mad Black Mormons, Finding the Lord's Lessons in Everyday Life.
It's really the diary of the two mad black. The other 12 black Mormons is gonna be so mad at us.
When you are so terrible. She's gonna get us in trouble. The mad part comes as a play on words. I mean, you're not necessarily mad, but when you're in a more homogenistic community,
I'm
sometimes
gonna translate that. She said, when you in a predominantly white community
and you speak your truth, it comes across to others like you're mad. So sometimes within our church, people think that we're mad. Well, we're really just not. We're really just being honest.
absolutely. So we're mad, we're black,
And we're
and
Mormon.
we're Mormon.
What year did you
Push pause. I want to add something to what they just said. What they said, they were mad and they black and they Mormon. They forgot one ingredient. You're also two motherfucking coons.
guys join the church?
She was born into it, like a gang. You know how you jump into a gang. Her parents jumped her into it. And we know that there are going to be some people within our subculture Mormonism that will see this and say there are more than 12 black Mormons. We know that. We're just being funny.
Zandra, where was your family at the time that they became LDS?
My beginnings in the church were in Trinidad, and Trinidad is a black area. So for me, church was black. Then I moved to Georgia, and that was more, since I'm from the South, integrated. And so I went to a church where there were other black families, and this is all within the LDS Church. Until I moved in high school to Salt Lake City, Utah, I really had no idea the church was so homogenistic. That was new to me.
And lots of people come to this religion and they feel like they have to leave their culture behind. Either you're here with us or you're over there with them.
And for us, that was something that was it was such a big part of who we were. It was such a big part of who we are.
I think when we started Sisters in Zion, we just wanted a
This shit is so goddamn embarrassing. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to give her to Trinidad. I'm blaming that on Trinidad. I can't take that one. I can't take
But
that one on the chin.
why not? Why, Trini? Why?
I'm not taking that on
Listen
the
to
chin.
this. No, we're not. Okay, you know something?
Can't.
What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us?
I can't take that.
What is
Mm-mm.
wrong with us?
Listen, she got that shit from over there. She got that shit from over
Right?
there. She ain't get it from here.
Manifest. Oh, did you see the comment over there by Richard says Jane Elizabeth Manning was a servant of Joseph Smith and was told that she would be a servant when in heaven because she is black. Mhm.
Oh yeah, let me put that back on the screen for anybody that did not see that.
Okay. Whew.
So you mean to tell
No.
me I gotta be a servant here? Then when I go up there, yes,
Wow.
master. But God told me to do it first. Yes,
Just
master.
I'm not interested in going. Just no. I
Right.
don't want to go to heaven. Thank you. Just terrible.
Terrible. But yeah, I'm sorry, Trinidad. Yeah, that's y'all people. She ain't get that shit from here. I love y'all, Trinidad, by the way, but oh shit. Let me put it back where it was at.
about it is that in December 2013, they put up on the website some information which dispels a lot of the dogma that has floated around about blacks in the church. I have been waiting for when they might speak
Hold on, let
to
me.
some of that in a
I don't
general
think I'm at the
meeting.
right
I've
spot.
been waiting patiently. I've heard them talk.
I skipped over some stuff. Sorry.
Frustrated with things that come from leadership, but we also get frustrated with things that come from our
Just wanted a space to participate in the dialogue.
and we get frustrated with things. We get frustrated with things that come from leadership, but we also get frustrated with things that come from our other brothers and sisters. And since we have a show and a platform, we're gonna talk about it, and we can do it from an honest place.
Hallelujah.
Holla back.
We are back with Sisters in Zion Radio. We thank you for tuning in. We're giving our general conference review today. Mormons like to act like, oh, we don't do televangelist church and we don't do church on TV. Twice a year, we trying to take Joe Osteen and TD Jakes' spot. And Joe Osteen, I'm not trying to start a fight with you. I'm just saying that's how big we do it.
You share your thoughts and feelings with him. Tell him everything that concerns you. Consider evaluating.
We are official tweeters for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We urban translate what is being said during conference.
Oh my God. So she just sat here and just said that she urban translate the content, right? So what do you mean? Are you putting the shit in slang? Are you saying that we can't understand what the fuck they're saying? Like we don't understand English and you got to do that shit. Like again, I can't. I'm not taking her. She that
Reggie, please
she got that
do
cooning
me
from
a
somewhere else.
favor. Reggie, please do me a favor, and can you please highlight the comment by Kevin Nelson? If we were as racist as you say, why is most of the growth the church is seeing? Can you see that comment?
Let me go to the restroom. I'm gonna let you take off on him
Okay.
for a little while because I know you're ready for him.
Kevin Nelson. This comment that you have put here sickens me. This comment here is the problem that we have with y'all. This religion does not belong in Africa and all these other parts. What God tells people to take his religion to the people on the other side. Go over there and go give them any God that needs people to take a religion from one end to the other end. That God is nothing but fake. If a God existed, he will see to it that his religion is universal. There wouldn't be any need for anyone to take this religion over to the other end. And to think that this religion is growing in Africa, does it not occur to you that as the religion has grown, poverty has grown alongside it? This is the way by which the people comfort themselves in their poverty. They comfort themselves with their bad leadership, comfort themselves with everything that they're faced, things that they have to face on a day to day, because they tell them that this world is not your home. You're just passing through. There's a place to go up there. But let me tell you, Kevin Nelson, the revolution has begun. People have started burning Bibles. People have started burning Bibles now. They've started burning Qurans. I'm telling you, it is happening. People are starting to say, well, hang on a minute. What is wrong with us? Why did we accept this religion? Why did we accept this Jesus character? Why did they make us change our names? Why did they force us to change our language? I have no business speaking English. As an African, why am I speaking English? Because of these useless people that brought this religion and ideology and their language and everything, right? If we were as racist as you say, why is it growing over there? Fuck you. It's going to reduce. It's already reducing.
Nobody cares about this comment. Ethiopia was a main hub for early Christianity.
No
That
one
does
gives a
not
shit.
that don't mean shit. Is Jesus from Ethiopia? No. Just because they went down there and told him that fucking bullshit, that does not mean anything. Also, the people that you're talking to, me and her, were no relation to Ethiopians whatsoever. We're West
Yeah.
African, right? So that's no different than a person from China and India. Just because they're from the same continent does not mean that they are the same fucking thing, right? So that does not mean anything. Did Ethiopians write the Bible? No, they were brought it. Somebody brought that shit to them. So that does not make any fucking difference. The person who hand delivered that book to us is the same exact person who taught us English. The end.
Of Jesus Christ.
Was there anything that you did not like about conference? What I didn't like about it is that in December 2013, they put up on the website some information which dispels a lot of the dogma that has floated around about blacks in the church. I have been waiting for when they might speak to some of that in a general meeting. I've been waiting patiently. I've heard them talk to the feminists. I heard them talk to them ordained women. I heard them talking about presidents and marriage equality. And it's not that I'm looking for anything specific.
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
will
have
say
to
that
be,
that is disappointing.
an apology or anything like that. I'm not telling Mormons love to defend their faith. A lot of members are not familiar with the Black history,
with their history.
Absolutely. And sometimes they're defending their faith from a place of ignorance. They don't even know what they're talking about when they're telling somebody, especially when you're talking about something sensitive like restrictions on Black people.
If we don't tell our own story and we don't tell the real story, then we do leave it open for the misconception. We don't work for the church, we don't speak for the church, nor on behalf of them, but we do have what our core truth is and our core belief. And when we're talking about things, we are coming from a place of honesty for us.
Reggie?
It's important to us to.
Yeah.
These two ladies are an embarrassment
Mhm.
to anything black. These ones. Did you hear
I
them
agree.
say they know about the past of the church, the very church that they are part of? They know. They're waiting for something, right? Not necessarily an apology. Listen, an apology would not even cut it. An apology would not even scratch the surface. But at least let them try. And who are you? Who do you think you are that your what you think will somehow impact on the others? The other people are owed an apology. They are owed explanations because you have decided to go along with the BS. They have rewritten the narrative they once had, and you are now going along with that. Does not change the past and what they have done and what they're still doing till this present day. And to think that these people know the history, never received an apology, and still sit there and still even they even have a radio show promoting the church. And man, sometimes my people just ooh, mm, ah,
Okay.
oh.
So I see that
Hey, 1720.
it says, why is it that actively religious have better mental health and overall social well being? Well, that's funny that you say that, right? And the reason why that's funny is because, according to an audit of the Federal Bureau of Prisons in March 2020, approximately 70% of inmates identified with a faith group. However, the religious makeup of the prison population varies depending on the source, information, and type of religious affiliation being considered, right? The lowest population in prison is the atheist population, which they say is about 11% of the prison population. So therefore, you cannot say that. So you're making up lies. And then you said, why is it that the actively religious have a 50% lower divorce rate? Right? Well, the overall divorce rate in the United States, if we're speaking about the United States, is over 50%.
Can I share my screen, please?
So you're not making any sense to me, and your stats are bogus as fuck too. Yeah, you can. I don't see it on there yet though.
Why not?
No, not nerdy. Not most Christians are. Well, all preachers are criminals, right? I'm not gonna
All
say that.
preachers are criminals, yes.
I'm not
Facts.
gonna say that that most Christians are criminals, but most criminals are Christian. That's a fact.
Mm, 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 mm.
That is a hardcore
Mm,
fact.
mm, mm, mm. Why is my thing not scrolling? Why is it not? I don't know. It's not scrolling. Wait, hold on. I'm not able to scroll down for some weird reason. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Sorry, just give me a second. I don't know why I'm unable to scroll. Oh, here we go. Right. So this is a report, right? That secular nations are the happiest nations, right? According to the recent World Happiness Report, the happiest nations in the world are Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Sweden, Norway, Israel, and New Zealand. Finland has been leading the world in happiness for 5 consecutive years. With the exception of Israel, these nations are also listed as some of the most secular and least religious nations in the world as well. So,
So Richard,
happiest nations.
let's speak about atheists. You can't find one stat on atheists that's in your favor, Kevin. None.
Hey, 1720, Nadie Rodent, Christopher Richards, good to see you all.
You could say that divorce rate, but if you look at the person who normally wants the divorce, it's the woman. And the reason why is because really marriage is just a form of female slavery, if you really think about it. My wife, my land, my da da da,
Mm,
my country. It's all the same shit. The rule,
yes.
the rules of the game and the playbook was written by men. That's why it's really almost impossible for a man to commit adultery. The only way a man can commit adultery, literally, is if he has sex with a woman that belongs to another man. That's the only way. If she's free, no matter how many times he's married, or he can have sex with whoever he wants, only women can commit adultery. So that's not true, Kevin. In the UK, more than 50% of the population is not Christian. So, so again, Kevin, you don't know what you're talking about. You just throwing out things. You don't know what you're talking about.
After the last census here in the UK, over 50% of the population now do not have um a religion. They don't subscribe to any religious beliefs at all. They have no um yeah, they call them the nuns, which means no religion. So for the first time in a very long time, the UK now has more people that do not believe in a god. Mm.
Right. Right. And you can't debate that, Kevin. You cannot debate what she just said for two reasons. It's a fact. And number two, which can easily be number one, is she lives in the UK. You do not. You are lying. Period.
To have a respect for our Black culture, but also for our religious culture.
Our culture and our community, those are positive things about who we are. There's a tendency when you're the minority in a culture to either assimilate or to hold back.
We wanted to show people that actually you can have both. You can have the best of both worlds because we're doing it.
But I will help you with your argument, um, Kevin. This is what you should say, right? If you want to try to make a point with it, you should say, hold on, hold on. Sorry about that. What you should say is you should say that 90% of black people are Christian. That's what you should say. But I'm sure you don't know that. But anyway, I'm gonna play another video about your
Wait,
Mormonism.
hold on. 90% of Black people are Christians. Yes.
I could be off. Let me
Oh,
correct
no, no,
myself.
no, 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 no. I'm going to take what you've just said. Yes, that's fine. If they're Christian, what version of Christianity are they?
Hold on.
What's denomination? So to call yourself Christian, that's one thing, but Christians don't agree on hardly anything. Like the
78.
country that I grew up in,
I was wrong.
at least
78%.
would have maybe over 50,000 denominations. I mean, Christianity has now become a free for all. Anyone can now decide, you know what, I was called by God. God asked me to start my own church. And that's it. Church starts. A new denomination starts. So to call yourself this set of people, they're all Christians. What version? You all cannot agree on simple doctrines. They can't even agree on whether the Trinity, whether there is a Trinity or not. There are Christians who do not believe in the Trinity. There are Christians who do not believe in hell. There are Christians. Look, the religion is a mess. The religion of Christianity is a mess, the biggest mess there is.
I agree. I definitely agree. Actively religious is the main factor for improving well-being. Well, let's talk about Nigeria. That's an easy one for you to lose, right?
Ooh.
They're actively religious, and nothing's helping their well-being. Nothing's improving. So
Nigeria is the second most prayerful country. Just listen to this. Nigeria, after Afghanistan, was voted the second most prayerful country in the world. Nigeria also is voted number two of the countries that have the most people living in poverty after India. Nigeria and India have been battling the spot the number one spot for years now. Any year that India is not at number one, Nigeria is number one. There was a time when Nigeria was 3 years in a row. Nigeria was poverty capital of the world. But guess what? Nigeria is the second most prayerful country in the world. There has to be some sort of correlation. The more religious, the worse off the people get.
right.
There has to be a correlation.
Yes, they go hand in hand. And guess what else? This is one thing that people don't say. You know how she just said, for everybody that's watching, how India and Nigeria are always running a race, they're neck and neck. You
Mm-hmm.
know what's significant about that? India's population is 5 times Nigerians. There's a billion fucking people in India, and you're still keeping up with them with poverty. Mm, mm. So what does that tell you? You can't afford to be Christian. It's expensive. I'm gonna play another video that's talking about um, Mormonism and racism.
And there's a quote here that there was a blackness that came upon all the children of Canaan, that they were despised among all people. What does that mean? We believe that the blacks are the descendants of Cain, that the darkness was a curse that God placed upon them for the murder of Abel. But Ariel, to say that black people are cursed, that sounds racist. Perhaps it does. What can I say? I can't say things according to how one might interpret my response. I can't change the doctrines that Joseph Smith taught because those are unpopular today.
There it is. So, as a black person, there's no way that I could ever believe any of that shit. I don't know if everybody has watched this whole series because this is part three, the finale. But we've shown a lot of videos that spoke on exactly what John Smith believed. We touched on Brigham Young and what his position was. He was the one that incorporated the idea that black people could not become priests or preachers. He's the one who started that idea. So the religion is deeply rooted from the beginning in racism, on top of the fact of how they feel about us, that how we were created. So
Hmm. So if they felt like that once upon a time, when did it change? When when did the narrative change? Is what I want to know. So the black people who are in this church, when did the narrative change? If they felt like that about you once upon a time. So when? Why were they allowed to act in that kind of manner? Right? Why are you anyway? You know what? This is where you want to say, oh, but I'm not part of it, so let me just, it's none of my business. But hang on, it affects us. It affects look. I may not necessarily be a part of the Mormon Church, but my goodness, if someone was racially discriminated in that church and that gets out, wouldn't that upset you, Reggie?
absolutely, like
It
I
will
put
get to you.
I put it to you like this: if say for instance, if I can't stand you, and I can't stand you, like I literally hate your guts, right? And someone says a racial slur about you, it ain't my friend.
Mm-hmm.
No longer are me and that person friends,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna try to work things out with you after I slap the shit out of them. I'm not. I'm not for that shit. It's no different. I can't. So what they're doing is they're being apologist. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is a little bit different than what you're saying. But how can you sit there and see that and then like, oh well, they're not. They don't mean me. It's not me. I'm one of the good ones. They like me. No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That
So,
it's just it's like I said this in a different way. Like I tell you that, I have debates with people and things. People could come into my inbox on different social media sites and, oh, Jesus loves you. He just wants you to come back and repent for your sins. And he just wants you to come home. He loves you. And then once I hit him with the dang, 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 black people were here first. Fuck your God. It's monkey, nigger, you're stupid. Then when I go tell another religious person about it that I feel like should side with me for racial reasons. Oh, well, that's what you get for disrespecting people's religion. What? Then that's when we come to the end of the road. You're Kuntu.
respecting people's religions is what got us here to begin with.
Turning
We
that other cheek.
respected, we respected the religion, and this is why the Jesus religion took over Africa. We respected the bullshit. I mean, how do you respect? This is what gets me. How do you respect a religion that tells you as soon as you are born that because two people ate a fruit some thousands of years ago, these two that you have no business with, they don't know you, you got no idea who they were, whether they existed or not.
So one of my
Somehow,
first experiences
as soon as you're
here,
born, now
Emily and
you are
I,
taking part.
Sorry.
That's okay. As soon
No,
as
I
you're
didn't mean to
born
push my.
now, you're taking part in this sin, so-called sin, right? No fault of yours. You were born to this thing called sin, right? You're born into the sin nature. I was talking to a mother the other day, right? Because I host these TikTok debates.
Hmm.
And this lady was, I could hear the sound of a baby really close to her mic. So it made me think, okay, she was, with a baby. Says, oh, is that the baby? Yes. Okay. Um, is that baby a sinner? Is the question I asked her because we were talking about sin and all this. She said, no, no, the baby is not a sinner. I said, hang on, are we born into a sin nature? Are we all born into a sin nature? She said, yes, we're all born into a sin nature. Okay, is that baby born into a sin nature? The baby you're holding? She says, yes, the baby is born in a sin nature. So is that baby a sinner? That was my question. By the time I, asked, I backed her up you know, backed her up in a corner. She had no other option but to answer that yes, her baby is a sinner. I said, did you hear yourself? You just called your innocent, sweet little baby. You just called that baby a sinner, and you follow a religion that does that to your own child. That religion does not deserve respect at all.
I agree. Um, there's no way that a baby can be a sinner. A sin is a willful act, right? You have to commit a sin. You have to do it. The baby doesn't even know a language yet. So there's no way that that child can commit a sin, right? He did not ask to be here. So I don't understand how a person can honestly think that. Um, especially when you think of the fact that when you're older, you do know better and you willfully commit sins. So if you know that, okay, well, if I go out here and do this sin, right, and I know it's wrong, what would make you think that a child was born not knowing and they're still sinning? It's one or the other, which makes absolutely no sense to me, either one. But I guess that's their way of thinking. I'm gonna play this video.
I think it was a Food for Less at the time in Orem, just at the bottom of the hill. So one of my first experiences here was my family and I. We went to, I think it was a Food for Less at the time in Orem, just at the bottom of the hill. Actually, technically Provo, but we went in. My dad, he had a habit of the time of having his hand in his pocket. He had some medicine with him that it was just a bottle of Excedrin that he had with him, that he was just fumbling around with. So we're going through the store. Didn't even notice this guy at first, but someone started following us around this grocery store. And
shopping while black, basically.
Basically, we get to the checkout stand, pay for our stuff, and guy's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to come with us." I'm like, "What's going on?" "Well, we just need you to come with us." So they take us into this dark room, and it feels like something out of just a movie, just so surreal, because it's dimly lit. There's one light kind of hanging, and he's interrogating my father, and I'm standing there just thinking, "What is this? What have we done?" So one of my first experiences here was my family and I. We went to, I think it was a Food for Less at the time in Orem, just at the bottom of the hill. Actually, technically Provo, but we went in. My dad, he had a habit of the time of having.
So basically, what he's saying is they went into the store and his father was, meddling around in his pocket in and out. And this is him growing up in Utah. And he said that they got pulled inside as if they were stealing something or whatever until they realized that they weren't. And I guess that's his way of saying that living around Mormonism, because I've actually been to Utah before. The black population is very small. There's two parts of Utah, right? There's northern Utah, which is what I've always thought that all of Utah looked like, because it's a lot of mountains, like in the Salt Lake City area, right? It's you can see the snow on them and everything. But southern Utah, because Utah is huge, southern Utah is the desert. All right. One thing that I had caught on to, and I think I said this in last week's episode or the week before, I started seeing signs for the local college. I can't remember what it was, right? What the name of the school was, but it was something Utah, something. But their logo was Dixie of the West. And then when I read that, I started thinking about what I learned in history class. I'm like, Dixie. Okay, I know what that means. That means that you're pro Confederate flag, which means you're on the side of the South. But we're in Utah, right? This is way in on the West Coast. So I knew right then and there. I'm like, why are you the Dixie of the West when this Civil War was going on? You were Mexico. So in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, that means that I don't think they like black people around here. That's what it registered to me, and I didn't really see too many black people. I think the only ones I really seen were my coworkers. I might have ran into one out of thousands and thousands of people that were in St. George, Utah. It was just strange to me. Northern Utah was completely different, but Southern Utah was very, yeah, maybe Dixie University. Maybe that's what it was. I can't remember, but it was Dixie of the West, which was strange. So I'm gonna play one more video before we get out of here. This is about Mormonism in Southeast Asia. I guess that's what you would call it. Well, in the island area, like the Fiji Islands and everything like that. Utah Tech University. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. This was 3 years ago. It's in around the St. George area in Utah. And this is about priesthood.
The church has successfully recruited among black-skinned Polynesians from the islands of Fiji.
I was in November when we came over, and then I would take lessons from the elders, and I came to think about it, and I knew that this was the true church.
We have Polynesians in every phase of church here in the islands, and in Salt Lake there are some Polynesians that are in.
Let me start it over in regular speed.
The church has successfully recruited among black-skinned Polynesians from the islands of Fiji.
I was in November when we came over, and then I would take lessons from the elders, and I came to think about it, and I knew that this was the true church.
We have Polynesians in every phase of church here in the islands, and in Salt Lake there are some Polynesians that are in high positions in the church.
No matter how dark-skinned they may be,
It has nothing to do with Polynesian race, why they're entitled to every benefit that the church has.
But some black-skinned people are not able to achieve full status in the Mormon Church.
In this day, as in ancient time, there are some who have not been given the privilege at this point of holding the priesthood of the church. Among those who do not have this privilege are those of African Negro ancestry.
The term priesthood requires some definition because this church has no professional clergy. Religious leaders are laymen, all males. At age 12, they are eligible for membership in the priesthood. Joining the priesthood is more important for Mormon boys than a christening for Catholics or a bar mitzvah for Jews. Young priesthood members serve communion, and only priesthood members can advance to positions of higher religious leadership. You cannot be a woman or a so-called Negro. Mr. Ashton, what is the church explanation for the exclusion of blacks from the priesthood?
I think I can perhaps best answer that question with this statement issued by the First Presidency of the Church on December 15th, 1969, and I quote, "From the beginning of this dispensation, Joseph Smith and all succeeding presidents of the Church have taught that the Negroes, while spirit children of a common father and the progeny of our earthly parents, Adam and Eve, were not yet to receive the priesthood for reasons which we believe are known to God, but which he has not made fully known to man."
Any change would come in a revelation through the church president.
From the Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm Epeli Lingeri. I come from Suva, the capital of Fiji. Joining the church has given me a great chance for me to love my neighbors. With the true love of God in this church, we have to be able to be united as one.
Ironically, there are several thousand so-called Negro members of the Mormon Church. So-called Negro members of the Mormon Church, despite its policy regarding the priesthood. Many years ago, the Mormon Church ended its sanction of polygamy when outside pressure became intolerable. It is possible that eventually the same thing could happen to the church position on race.
Well, there you have it. What was strange about that to me was like they even let the Polynesians become priests and not us, as if we look any fucking different than them. Did you see how those Polynesians look? It looked like me when I used to have a fucking fro. Like literally, exactly like me.
Listen, hey, get woke. Oh yeah, yeah. Why would any black person want to be a part of this Mormon church? I mean, the claims made, the Mormon church, the claims made, but it's so ridiculous. Some of the things that Joseph Smith got up to. What is this tomfoolery going on here? Why would anyone want to be a part of the? It's all make believe.
Right.
That's all that it is. So why subject yourself to that?
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly. And then it doesn't matter if you change your policies or not. It doesn't fucking matter. Your doctrine from John Smith, Joseph Smith, whatever the fuck his lying ass name is based on that. Brigham Young, his doctrine is based on it. You can't change what it is, right? You cannot say just because you're accepting the black dollar now that that shit is not true. Because if what you're saying is that's not true, then your whole religion is not true. Shall I play your cartoon one more time for you? I'm tired of seeing it, but
Oh, that cartoon.
I keep
Hey,
playing it.
Denisha.
You can't get out of that cartoon, no matter what you do.
Denisha, hey.
Yeah, I think I should play it one more time for the fucking road. I swear I am.
Yeah, go on.
For the road. We could put this Mormonism shit to bed. I do want to watch the extended version one day when I just have time.
How long is the extended version?
30 minutes.
Yeah, definitely gonna watch it soon. Because the times that I watched it, let me tell you, you just can't get all the way to the end. It's too much. It's just too much. Oh, something convinced her. Oof.
Piece of animation based directly on actual Mormon publications highlights the major doctrinal differences.
Mormonism teaches that trillions of planets scattered throughout the cosmos are ruled by countless gods who once were human like us. They say that long ago on one of these planets, to an unidentified god and one of his goddess wives, a spirit child named Elohim was conceived. This spirit child was later born to human parents who gave him a physical body. Through obedience to Mormon teaching and death and resurrection, he proved himself worthy and was elevated to godhood as his father before him. Mormons believe that Elohim is their heavenly father and that he lives with his many goddess wives on a planet near a mysterious star called Kola. Here, the God of Mormonism and his wives, through endless celestial sex, produced billions of spirit children. To decide their destiny, the head of the Mormon gods called a great heavenly council meeting. Both of Elohim's eldest sons were there, Lucifer and his brother Jesus. A plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal bodies and learn good from evil. Lucifer stood and made his bid for becoming savior of this new world. Wanting the glory for himself, he planned to force everyone to become gods. Opposing the idea, the Mormon Jesus suggested giving man his freedom of choice, as on other planets. The vote that followed approved the proposal of the Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. Enraged, Lucifer cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Thus, Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them. Early Mormon prophets taught that Elohim and one of his goddess wives came to Earth as Adam and Eve to start the human race. Thousands of years later, Elohim, in human form once again, journeyed to Earth from the starbase Kolob, this time to have sex with the Virgin Mary, in order to provide Jesus with a physical body. After Jesus Christ grew to manhood, he took at least 3 wives, Mary, Martha, and Mary Magdalene. Through these wives, the Mormon Jesus, for whom Joseph Smith claimed.
I don't know if anybody caught that part, but he
3
just literally
wives.
said, one of which was his own fucking mom. One of them
He
marries
said
his
that.
mammy. Yeah, listen.
They'll try to get away with this and tell you it's not the same Mary.
Grew to manhood, he took at least 3 wives, Mary, Martha, and Mary Magdalene. Through these wives, the Mormon Jesus, for whom Joseph Smith claimed direct descent, supposedly fathered a number of children before he was crucified. According to the Book of Mormon, after his resurrection, Jesus came to the Americas to preach to the Indians, who the Mormons believe are really Israelites. Thus, the Jesus of Mormonism established his church in the Americas as he had in Palestine. By the year 421 AD, the dark-skinned Indian Israelites, known as Lamanites, had destroyed all of the white Nephites in a number of great battles. The Nephites' records were supposedly written on golden plates and buried by Moroni, the last living Nephite in the hill Cumorah. 1,400 years later.
That was another confusing part I missed, right? So first you said that that they were the Israelites, right? Obviously somebody came and attacked them. They had to defend themselves because they was already here. Now you're making the people look like the victim or the people that came over here and they had these special records and they your people. Which one is it? They're more confused than I am. Shit.
A young treasure seeker named Joseph Smith, who was known for his tall tales, claimed to have uncovered these same gold plates near his home in upstate New York. He is now honored by Mormons as a prophet because he claimed to have had visions from the spirit world in which he was commanded to organize the Mormon Church, because all Christian creeds were an abomination. It was Joseph Smith who originated most of these peculiar doctrines which millions today believe to be true. By maintaining a rigid code of financial and moral requirements and through performing sacred temple rituals for themselves and the dead, the Latter-day Saints hope to prove their worthiness and thus become gods. The Mormons teach that everyone must stand at the final judgment before Joseph Smith, the Mormon Jesus, and Elohim. Those Mormons who were sealed in the eternal marriage ceremony expect to become polygamous gods in the celestial kingdom, rule over other planets, and spawn new families throughout eternity. The Mormons thank God for Joseph Smith, who claimed that he had done more for us than any other man, including Jesus Christ. The Mormons believe that he died as a martyr, shed his blood for us, so that we too may become gods.
For someone to strange that
Indeed, it is
anybody
strange.
actually will believe that.
Indeed. Mm-mm-mm.
So Jerwalk is asking a question. I thought someone threatened you both last week. What would you like me to do in the future? Ask your channel. Esther, outright timeout ban, bring it to you.
I mean, if there's a way to, I wouldn't say block or ban them. People can make comments, right? At the end of the day, they're just words in the comment section. I would rather that they're able to listen. So that's a conversation. I don't know. What would you like me to do in the future? I mean, if we can delete the comment, I would. That's the best thing I would. Yeah, just be able to delete the comments if that's possible. But thank you for asking, though. That's a good question.
The claim has been that JS used divine plates to write Joseph Smith to write the Book of Mormon. The reality, and within the LDS archives themselves, the reality was that Joseph Smith looked at a stone and a hat to transcribe the book. But the thing about that is, Richard, is this: that's crazy. I had it on 1.25 speed, so I don't know if anybody heard it. But Joseph Smith is a man described known for his tall tales. That means he's a motherfucking known liar. So I don't understand why people will believe, by their own definition, a man by tall tales, anything. So what you got going on the rest of the day, Afro? You're muted.
Just very quickly, Reggie, just wanted to show you something, if you don't mind. Please, can I share my screen, please?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Right. Reggie, do you know about the man that God turned into an animal? in the Bible?
No, I was unaware of that until 10
Okay.
seconds ago.
God turned a man into an animal in the Bible, right? By the name of Nebuchadnezzar. So, according to the Bible, God turned King Nebuchadnezzar into an animal for 7 reasons, or 7 seasons, sorry, not reasons, 7 seasons, to teach him that God rules over human kingdoms. So it says, can you read this?
Yes.
Okay. The event King Nebuchadnezzar was speaking about the great city he built when a voice from heaven told him that he would be forced to live with the wild animals and eat grass like an ox. Nebuchadnezzar immediately began living with the wild animals and eating grass. His hair, his hair grew long like an eagle's feathers, and his nails grew long like a bird's claw. After 7 seasons, Nebuchadnezzar regained his sanity and praised God. He realized that God rules over the human kingdoms and gives them to whoever he wants.
That's crazy.
Reggie, God actually turned this man into an animal.
The question for me is, what animal?
Okay. Okay, to be fair, it says the Bible doesn't say that God turned Nebuchadnezzar into an animal, right? It doesn't say that, but it implies that because he ended up eating grass like an ox. Mm.
Makes no sense to me. None of it.
Yeah, it just crossed my mind that I'd share that with you. And so you asked me a question. What am I doing? Well, did you say you've got a stream later on?
Yeah, I'm supposed to do one later on.
So yeah, if that's the case, I mean, I want to come and support if the show is still going on. But I think you should tell the people about what you want to do.
Okay, so anybody that's watching, a friend of mine, I told you about her, Tia Don J, right? I do streams with her sometimes. Sometimes she comes on here. It's been a few weeks since she's been on here, but she comes on. I do streams with her. You know, she's I call her my sister in disbelief. Um, she's not so much invested in religion or like that. She just so happens to not believe. She also does host her own streams like this on StreamYard, on Facebook, on YouTube as well. I've done one with her before about how basically I lost my religion. I guess that's the correct term for it, right? So last week or the week before, well, last week, I was sharing on here something that happened to me in my life, right? And she asked me would I like to do a stream about it. It's something that's very, very personal. It's something that's unbelievable, but it can be proven. You can just look it up. Um, I'm gonna have to change some of the people's names to protect the innocent and the deceased. Um, it was a very traumatic situation. Almost went to prison for life for some shit that I told the person not to do. Um, I was the only one involved with it that had the courage to fight because again, I was always told as a child they said that I was the type of person that don't believe shit stinks, and I'm hard headed. That's part of why I'm an atheist. And in that case, I didn't believe it. Um, I'm not going to prison. I'm not taking no plea agreement for some shit that I didn't do just because I was there. Everybody else did, which I guess I can't blame them out of fear. But me, it wasn't an option for me because what they were offering me was 13 years in prison for some shit I did not do. I did not touch nobody. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't take nothing from nobody. I didn't do shit. Just because I was there, that doesn't make me guilty. So I had to fight my way out of it with no lawyer money. Um, my mom told me I was gonna lose. My lawyer told me I was gonna lose. Everybody told me I was gonna lose, and I had no choice but fight for my life, and that's what I did. And I'm here to talk about it. It's been about 16 years since it happened, a little longer, um, but it's definitely a true story. Tap in if we do it today. I gotta call her, see if she still is down, because it's gonna be about a good 2 or 3 hour conversation.
Is it set in stone or?
I, I'm the type person, I try to be a person of my word. So I'm talking about it right now. So I'm down. The only way this shit is not gonna happen is if there's some type of time conflict. That's the only way.
Okay.
So if you watching, because she usually taps in, pull up. What you got going on the rest of the day, Afro?
Um, yeah, I've got, like I said, I've got a couple of things to do, some applications to make, and yeah, myself and the boys were going to eat dinner, and yeah, just see how we get on from there.
Thank you, Jerwat. Thank you, James.
Hey, James Appleton, our entire criminal justice system is barbaric and life-wrecking mess of psychopathic destruction. Indeed, indeed it is.
Even though this was 16 years ago, right? Recently, because I had to go to the county jail, had to sit there until I could, fight myself out, and I didn't have no bond money to get out. I recently, in the past couple months, seen somebody, and I didn't even know who the fuck he was. And he was like, "You ever been to jail before?" I'm like, "Man, a long time ago." He like, "Yeah, a long time ago." I'm like, "Yeah, probably like '08. That's the last time I've been in jail." He's like, "Yeah, it was about that long ago." He was like, "You know somebody?" I ain't gonna say his name, but he was like, "You know somebody knowing quote so on and so forth." And I remembered him because he was actually in the same pod with me with his father, and him and his father have the same first name, different last names. And then I looked at him. I said, I hadn't seen him almost 20 years, and it was him. He probably been home for about 4 or 5 years because he ended up going to prison. He was 18 years old, and I hadn't seen him since then. And he still remembered me. I look completely different, I think, and he still remembered me from that time, a long time ago. And he still remembered everything that I'm going to talk about in this crazy story. And he knows some of the people too.
I look forward to hearing your life story. Yeah, I'm sure it would be, yeah, must be very compelling. And but can I just say, how I hope I'm speaking facts here when I say, fantastic turnaround,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely,
how
definitely.
you have, you know, um, not let your past um, control your present.
Thank you. And I definitely will take that true statement. Because when I was in my 20s, oh yeah, I was off the fucking chain. I'll be the
Mm-mm.
first one to tell you. 30s too, but 20s for sure, for sure. 30, once I got to my mid to late 30s, I started slowing down because I've been clean over 6 years now. So I'm only 42. So once I got to like my mid 30s, I started realizing like, bro, shit, your life is passing you by, number one. And number two, a person will kill you out here if you don't stop doing what you're doing and wake the fuck up and put that damn bottle down and every fucking thing
Mm.
else. Somebody gonna kill you. And I finally woke up. I want to thank Ouija666. You're always a great supporter. Thank you, Veil Rose. Thank you, Manifest 88 from TikTok. Thank you for stopping by. I know who you are.
Who is
Thank
that?
Manifested.
Who's manifest?
She's on TikTok. She comes to the lives a lot and she says stuff. She's light skinned.
What is her name on TikTok?
It's like manifested. Something it's something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Thank you, Spider, for stopping by. Thank you, my so-called life. Richard, thank you. Kevin, even though you're annoying, thank you for stopping by. Who else?
Erica says, I applaud you for your courage and strength. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Who else? Hope I ain't forgetting them. Oh, Jerwalk. Oh yeah, that's my guy right there. Thank you for stopping by. You're such a great support.
Did you say James? Did you see James Apperson?
Oh yeah, thank you, James, as well. Same goes out to you.
Danisha.
Thank you, 17 out of 20. Nerdy Rodent, thank you. Who else? Thank you, Chris Richards. Thank you, Richard, again. Who else? Jerwalk, thank you again. I think that's it. Chris, I think I said that already. Denisha, thank you for stopping by. You're always a great help. Who else? And so many people. Thank you, Erica, for stopping by. Who else? Not to cut on the music, and we about to be out. Catch me
Thank
later,
you.
y'all.
Bye, everyone.